Flying isn't enough. Passengers now have something else to worry about when flying in South Africa. At least 10 of their bags are broken into and pilfered every day, and that's on SAA alone.
Your baggage doesn't just go through security checks. Some criminals are also paying very close attention to it. Security is tight, and yet someone is helping themselves to passengers' luggage. On average, there are around 380 cases of pilfering each month, and that's just on SAA. South African Airways handles over 400,000 bags every month. And Public Enterprises Minister Alec Irwin says the percentage of bags stolen from does fall within international standards. SAA says since December it's employed a special security task team who've decreased pilfering by 50%. But the thefts don't just affect SAA. This passenger's just arrived from Johannesburg on Mango and can't find her luggage.
It's very, very disappointing, and I can hardly believe it. It's got most of my things that I need in it for my holiday. So without it, I'm going to be quite lost, you see.
Mango says her luggage may still arrive, but if not, she'll have to lay a criminal complaint. The Airports Company of South Africa handled airport security, and it's refusing to comment. Police have no data on how many suspects have been arrested specifically for baggage theft. They say all thefts at airports, whether from cars, shops or passengers' luggage, are categorised under the same charge. Rose Ramsey, E-News, Cape Town.
Democracy seems to be doing little to help farm labourers. There's been a sharp rise in the number of illegal evictions since 1994. The findings were presented in Parliament today by the Human Rights Commission.
The plight of many farm labourers, forcibly removed from the only life they know, and the situation is not getting any better. In the last decade of apartheid, nearly 750,000 farm workers were evicted. Since 1994, nearly 1 million labourers have been evicted from farms, mostly in Gauteng and KwaZulu-Natal. It's estimated another 2 million workers are facing the same fate, but the Human Rights Commission says only 1% of these evictions are legal.
And the lack of dignity that people are afforded can only result in the conclusion that the person responsible for the eviction is behaving in a discriminatory manner towards the farm dwellers.
The HRC says illegal evictions are an infringement of the Constitution, but farmers are finding loopholes in the legislation that's meant to protect farm workers.
One thing is certain, legislation alone is not enough to put an end to illegal farm evictions. The HRC says more attention needs to be paid to the situation on farms in this country. Cleopatra Lishoro, E-News, Parliament.
Last month, we reported on a school in KwaZulu-Natal so overcrowded that many of its pupils are taught under trees. The story of Landulwazi Primary School angered the province, which insists it's been working to house the youngsters. But in the meantime, a local company's come to their rescue.
Teachers here at Landulwazi Primary School say they've been waiting for years for improvements. The province says it's the school's fault for taking on too many children, and that it does plan to build more classrooms. One man decided he couldn't wait for the province to act.
When I seen your footage on ETV, it really touched me to see all these kids sitting underneath these trees and trying to get study done. If we all sit back and we complain about the government, nothing will be done. So if we as the community get together and help these people, it'll be better off for all of us.
In just 2 days, he's given Landulwazi Primary 2 new classrooms. The Provincial Education Department says it's pleased with the donation. It's promising to build 6 new classrooms and 8 toilets at the school this year. In the meantime, dozens of children who've never seen the inside of a classroom can at last learn in peace and comfort. Valued at 30,000 Rand each, these mobile classrooms will ensure that dozens of impoverished school kids now have a decent education. Just goes to show, when it comes down to it, South Africans really do know how to pull together and lend a helping hand. Vanessa Govender, E! News, Msinga.
The Taliban looks
Bodied person, you probably seldom think about how difficult it is for those